Hello everybody and have a blissful day. Welcome to my YouTube channel titled The Quantum Wave Particle Duality or Non-Duality. We are watching a short video series on some selected science topics. I am Dr. N. Gurappa. Let's explore some of the concepts involved in quantum mechanics. We will be analyzing an experiment where wave particle duality of light can be seen. Before that, we have to understand a couple of things. The first one being interference of light and the second one being the behavior of a particle. Therefore, in this episode, let us try to understand the interference phenomena, a very special property exhibited only by waves. Consider a pond whose water surface is initially remaining still. Okay, this water surface lies along the ZX plane. When you look through the direction of y-axis, you will see the water surface along a XZ plane. Remember this coordinate system throughout the present talk. The pond's surface lying along ZX plane is shown here actually. You are actually seeing through y-axis from bird's eye view. From here you are seeing through y-axis, then this pond surface will appear like this. Now just drop a small stone at the middle of the pond, then what actually happens? Circular waves start emanating from the point of disturbance and they will move towards the boundary of the pond. If you want to maintain this wave continuously, then you have to keep on dropping small stones continuously here. You have to keep on disturbing this point. Then waves will start from this point and then they will keep on moving towards the boundary. Remember this coordinate system throughout the present talk. Suppose if you make a video, then what you will see is actually a propagating wave in the video. But instead of a video, let us take a snapshot, a photograph. Then what you will see is that a standing wave like this. So you see that this is along y and x axis. This is this coordinate system where you will see the wave. Now actually you have to look through z axis to see this shape. Actually this wave will be oscillating. At this point this amplitude will go up, after some time it will come back and it will become 0 and then go in the reverse direction and then it will go again to 0 like that. But if you take a snapshot, you will see a static standing wave like this. When the vibrations of the medium is perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave, then such a wave is known as a transverse wave actually, and that's what we have seen on this surface of the water. Wave is propagating from here, point of disturbance outwardly, it means say along x-axis, then the vibrations are along y-axis. So when the wave is propagating, the vibrations are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. It means to the direction of propagation and to the direction of vibration, the angle between them is actually 90 degrees. Each and every arrow is showing the direction and position to which a water molecule at the beginning of the arrow is moved actually. This arrow mark is like a bull and the water molecule at the beginning of the arrow is like a bullock cart. The length of the arrow is like a strength of the bull and the direction of the arrow is like the direction into which the bullock cart is pulled. Just remember this analogy of a bull, it will be helpful actually. Now let us disturb the water surface at two nearby points, nearby places, instead of one which we have seen earlier. then what actually happens? The two waves starting from these 2 points will overlap on top of each other, which results in this kind of a pattern known as a interference pattern actually. What is the physical reason behind the formation of such an interference pattern? The reason is simple actually. At some places you can see certain lines in this pattern. Actually it should go straight perpendicular. I have drawn little bit angle is there, but doesn't matter. At certain regions the wave amplitudes will add up. In some other regions it will cancel actually. I will show in the next slide. This is the reason why such an interference pattern actually happens. Let us say that these are the two waves from 2 points of disturbance. If they are in phase, what do you mean by they are in phase? One wave amplitude is going up, and the same is true for other wave also. When these two waves overlap on each other, this amplitude and this amplitude will add up. This amplitude and this amplitude also will add up. They are in the same direction. It is like two bulls pulling the bullock cart in the same direction with their strength. So what will actually happen? So this is the total length of the amplitude now. This is how it is. So the original size of the wave is like this, as any single wave. When these two adds up, the enhanced, this resultant wave is like this. Suppose these two waves are out of phase with each other. It means one amplitude of one wave is going up and the other one is going down like this. It is like two bulls pulling the bullock cart in the opposite direction. What will happen? The bullock cart will not move, it will stay there itself. So that is what is the result we get. Means when these two waves which are in out of phase adds up to a constant surface actually. Means there is these two waves will cancel each other and there is no wave at all. We have seen a couple of cases actually. The two waves amplitudes will add up to 2 times the amplitude. That is the maximum size of the amplitude we will get by adding two waves. And another case, these amplitudes will cancel. It will become, addition will become 0 and there is no wave at all. So these are the two cases we have seen earlier. There are cases in between these two cases. For example, consider one wave like this and another wave which is slightly out of phase actually. What do we mean by slightly out of phase? Consider this point and a similar point here actually. Actually this point and this point are same. At this point wave is having amplitude of this much, and at the same point another wave is having amplitude of this much. Then what will happen? These two amplitudes will add up. This length is definitely less than 2 times the original amplitude, and at the same time it is more than single amplitude. So this is the resultant amplitude, and the sum of these two waves is this wave actually. Another possibility is this. In this case, two waves are out of phase such that at this point the amplitude is up, going up like this, and at the same point the amplitude is coming down actually. Unlike the earlier case, though this in the earlier cases these two amplitudes are different, but they are in the same direction. In this case these two amplitudes are not only different length, they are in opposite direction. So two bulls are pulling this point. One is a stronger bull and other one is a weaker bull. So if you add these two things, what will actually happen? From here you subtract this much. So what is this? Is the one which is results. So sum of these two waves is a resultant wave of the amplitude this much actually. That is what we get here actually. Now we are ready to see Young's double slit experiment. In May of 18,001, Thomas Young established the principle of interference of light using the now famous double slit experiment, and thus resurrected the century-old wave theory of light. From past few centuries, the debate over whether light is a wave or a particle is going on and on even today. And even after the advent of quantum mechanics, we have not yet conclusively said what actually light is. Sir Isaac Newton understood light as made up of a stream of corpuscles. Christian Huygens believed light as a wave vibrating in some sort of medium called as a ether actually. There was evidence for both pictures, means wave and corpuscular picture actually, means a particle picture. In those days, sound was already known to be a wave, as it can travel through crooked pipes and around the corners. It can actually move by bending actually, while light cannot do that. This fact was taken as evidence for the corpuscular theory of light. But phenomena such as refraction were difficult to explain with corpuscular theory. For instance, at interfaces such as that between air and water, some light is reflected and some is refracted. Okay. But the corpuscular theory can't easily explain why that happens actually. Young noted that the corpuscular theory also has trouble explaining why different colors of light are refracted to different degrees. I mean, this is our everyday experience. Colors of a soap bubble actually. Why we see different colors from a soap bubble? This phenomena cannot be explained using corpuscular theory. This diagram shows a simple arrangement of Young's double slit experiment. Here we have a monochromatic light source. Monochromatic means a single color. Okay, this light from this source, light source, spreads in all three directions like a spherical wave. Here we have a cardboard. Let us say this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and you are viewing this experimental arrangement from z direction. So this cardboard has a small thickness along x-axis, but it has an area along y and z axis. There is a small pinhole at the center of the cardboard. Means in the air it's like a pond and dropping a stone, like that. A center you have a pinhole. There is another cardboard which has two pinholes in it. So what actually happens, this light from this source expands outward like a spherical wave. Most of them are blocked by this cardboard except a small portion through which light again expands like a spherical wave actually. So this light is passed through these two pinholes. Now these pinholes acts like a secondary sources actually. So this situation is now exactly identical to dropping two stones on a surface of a water actually. So from here two waves emerges out. So they will overlap each other, and you can see there are certain lines where the amplitude will become maximum. There are other regions where the amplitude will get cancelled actually. I have drawn this diagram just to show how much light is coming at the center and other parts. It is not that this is what this area is actually this way you actually see along y-axis actually. I have drawn here this is actually you see along y-axis on the detector screen actually. Why I draw a bigger circle is simply to say that most of the light will come here and comparatively less light will come here actually. In between you have no light is coming here actually, it is a dark region actually. The interference pattern means alternative bright and dark fringes, they call actually fringes actually. I have drawn a circular because of the geometry of the pinholes, but it doesn't matter. Actually it is not a sharp surface like this, it's a smooth surface and this is a smooth surface and they will merge here actually. And here you do not have any light coming at all. Most of the light comes here. This height is actually telling you how much light is coming here. This height is telling how much light is coming here. This pattern is known as the interference pattern. Alternatively, bright dark fringes will form actually. Only waves can exhibit this kind of a pattern. If particles are fired through these two holes, you will see only two bright spots here on the screen, but here you see more than two. Actually I have drawn three, but there are it can be even 1,000 actually, it can be thousands. So this is what is the interference pattern observed in Young's double slit experiment, which proves that light has a wave nature actually. Please express your doubts, questions, suggestions and any expectations either in English, Tamil or Telugu in the comment box. Thank you and best regards. In the next video, we will study some properties of particles, and then finally we will see the same Young's double slit experiment in the context of quantum mechanics. Thanks again.